4th grade artists, this is Miss Funk from Gatewood and Tanglin. Today I am going to be walking you through creating a still life. Learning targets. I can define still life. I can study different styles of still life artworks. I can arrange, draw, and color a unique still life with objects in my home. The still life picture on this page is called Still Life with Lemons. It was painted in 1943 by Henri Matisse. Defining still life. A still life is an artist's representation of a group of inanimate objects. It is different from other types of observation drawing because the objects can't move, unlike a person or pet who is sitting for a portrait, and it is close to you, unlike a landscape. The objects are usually everyday items like food, tools, toys, and flowers. The picture on the left is not a still life. The subject is a landscape. This is called plein air painting, when you are outside painting the landscape that you are in. The second picture is also not a still life. The subject of the artwork is animate, that means living and be able to move around. This is a picture of someone painting a portrait. This picture on the right is a still life. The inanimate objects, which means they cannot move or live on their own, are arranged by the artist and drawn up close. This still life picture was painted by me when I was in college. When you paint or draw a still life, you will see things in your own unique way. Some artists are interested in creating lifelike details. Others are interested in the shapes and colors, and still others are interested in the collection of items they are drawing and what theme those items represent. Here are a few examples of different styles of still life artworks. Which do you like best? The first on the left is by Charles Cerny. It was painted in 1958. This is a trompe-l'oeil style painting. Trompe-l'oeil is an artistic style in which the artist is very interested in portraying every detail in a hyper-realistic way. It creates the optical illusion of a 3D image on a flat page. The next painting was created by Shava Silverman in 2000. This is an expressionist style painting. Expressionist artists are more interested in showing how the colors, shapes, and textures in the still life set a mood in their artwork, not necessarily interested in all the tiny details. A third style of still life is called a vanitas. This is by Peter Clijs. It was painted in 1625. Vanitas is a style of still life that was very popular in the 17th century Netherlands region of Europe and was meant to explore the passage of time, life, and death. Take a look at this painting here. See if you can find examples of the passage of time, examples of life, and examples of death in this painting. Tips for arranging your own still life. Think about your style. Are you going to draw a few hyper-realistic objects? Will you be picking objects with colors and shapes that you are excited about? Will you be creating a theme or making a statement with your items? Go simple. When setting up a still life, don't include too many items. A small, carefully organized group of objects will have far more impact than a wide assortment of random objects. Choose just a few objects that you find visually pleasing. Consider your background. Your choice of background is important too. A neutral background color can make the objects pop. However, if the objects are light, a contrasting darker background might work best. A patterned background will work if the items in the still life are simple and the colors contrast. This is the still life that I am going to be drawing. I went around my home and I found objects that I thought might look nice together, contrasting textures, tried to keep it simple, but I grabbed a few objects that might be a little bit more challenging for me to draw because I was looking for a challenge. You'll notice that I wanted to create a contrast in my background, so I have a light neutral colored wall in the background, and then I used a picnic blanket on top of my table to make the table stand out. When I do my drawing, you'll notice what changes I made in the picnic blanket and the pattern. As I was making my design, I didn't want everything to be on the same level, so I grabbed a box so that I could elevate the plant and the glass of water. Keeping things on different levels will give your eye more movement around the page, and it will keep people a little bit more interested in your drawing. Try not to have all your objects on the same visual plane. That's the same space on the page. The last thing I want to point out is that I have my objects overlapping. Not every single thing has its own space. You can't see the entire glass. You can't see the entire box. Overlapping means putting some objects closer to you and other objects farther away.